Welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam Smith, and inside this game unboxing video, I'm checking out Skull Tales Full Sail, the second edition. This one is coming from Draco Ideas, and it'll be landing on GameFound in the very near future. I'll have a link in the pinned comment and video description for you to find more information on this, but stay tuned to the channel as this video is going to take you through all the components that come inside the second edition, and also we're going to go into a game overview and gameplay video together to see how this game flows and operates from a solo perspective. Now, for those that are unfamiliar with Skull Tales Full Sail, it is a pirate-themed adventure board game, as you can clearly tell from the cover of the box, blending narrative-driven exploration, tactical combat, and resource management in a cooperative and solo experience. Key features of the game include things like the storytelling, where the game features branching storylines based on the choices you make throughout the campaign. And as you'd expect with a campaign game, your characters can develop their pirate abilities through skills, equipment, and role-specific upgrades. And last but not least, it wouldn't be a pirate game if there wasn't tactical combat involved. So the combat's going to blend dice rolling with ability management. You'll have to do the two things in tandem while you go up against enemies, bosses, and naval threats in the game. The back of the box gives a nice breakdown of all the components inside. We'll be taking an up-close look at all of these as we go through the video. So we got plastic gems, plastic coins, double-sided tiles, double-sided boards. We've got a whole bunch of cards here, double-sided sheets, rulebook and campaign book. We got 200 plus tokens in here, and there's 10 six-sided dice and 52 miniatures. After opening up the second edition, the first thing you're going to find is book number 1, the Adventure Guide. After that, book number 2, the Port Guide. Then book number 3, Voyage Rules. And finally, a campaign book, Shadows of the Caribbean. Let's check out the inside of each of these booklets, starting with the Adventure Guide. Book number 1 here has Chapter 1 on the left-hand side, has abbreviations listed out. The game modes are here: campaigns, chapters, chapter phases, and lone pirates. The Lone Pirate section is talking about solo play. You can play this campaign solo all the way through. The next couple pages are all about the components, and we see more components beyond what was shown at the back of the box. We can see things split out for the cards, for example, on the right-hand side, as well as the tokens. The focus of chapter number 4 is all around the characters, so at this point it starts talking about pirates, allies, and enemies. You're going to start to see the general layout of the rulebook as we go through the next few pages. Chapter 5 is all about dice rolls. There are charisma, behavior, and difficulty rolls that you're going to run into, and these are all detailed out there. You have the how to start section in chapter number 6. And from this point on, we are now inside of what's known as the adventure phase in chapter 7. This is the key focus of this book. As we get to pages 34 and 35, there's a breakdown of the adventure phase sequence. So this game is broken into 3 major phases. You have the adventure phase, you have the port phase, and you have the voyage phase. And again, all the booklets that you saw earlier are breaking down each one of those phases. So whenever you're inside of one, you have rules specific to it. And of course, once you become accustomed to it, you won't need to reference those as often. At the back of the adventure one, there is a full nautical almanac, which is nice to see a breakdown to find any information by keyword that you're looking for. The next booklet is the Port Rules, so this is going to go over everything inside of the port phase, and it states the port is a place of respite where pirates make their wishes come true. The port is a place where you can toughen up and equip yourself to try to survive the dangers of the darkest corners of the Caribbean. A place to go tell stories at the tavern by the fireplace or to bet on craps, where you will rest and heal while listening to rumors about what is going on in the village. You can repair your boat, and I'll be damned, even buy a new one. All of this and much more. Welcome to the port phase, me matey. As we go to the next pages, you'll see a full setup here of how to get the port phase to the table. Also, a full illustration down here in the bottom right. And from there, the port rules is going to expand into all the rules you need to know for this phase. And at the end of this rulebook, there is a port phase sequence section here in the top right-hand corner, talking about the previous phase, the pirate turn, and the end of phase. Book number 3 is all about the voyage rules, and you'll see the voyage phase all listed out here. It states any good pirate story is full of sea voyages, naval battles, boardings, mutinies. You will find all of this here and much more. The captain must reach the destination island while trying to collect some booty along the way, keep the crew's morale high, and avoid being captured or having the ship get sunk. The other players must perform their seafaring duties as successfully as possible in order to gain the trust of the rest of the crew and perhaps become candidates for the ship's captaincy. And as you go through the rulebooks, no matter which one it is, you're going to see illustrations throughout, so it's not just all text, there's also examples, and you'll see here some of the actual ship layouts. And just like in any of the booklets you've seen so far to this point, there's certain sections of these books that have information that you will discover as you go through your journey. You'll read entries in certain pages of these books. And towards the back of the Voyage Rules booklet, you start seeing things like the enemies and enemy movement and attacking and how it all works. There's a full section here around boardings. You'd expect this inside of a pirate game. And similar to the other books we've already seen, when we get towards the end, we see a full sequence laid out for this phase. The final booklet is the campaign booklet, and this is going to be the one you'll be focused on for the majority of your play. The book includes 10 chapters that make up the first campaign of Skull Tales, along with 2 extra scenarios to be played if your ship is sunk or captured during the voyage phase. Now, as you start to get into this, and of course I don't want to go too deep into this because I don't want to spoil anything here, but in chapter number 1, your very first one, it's the secret of Captain Jones. You have some flavor text here, you have a goal, a primary goal, then you have a goals chart, success chart, enemy chart, story chart, you have your setup here, instructions in terms of how to get this to the table. It tells you which tiles to place and how to place things on them. These are the final 2 pages that I'll show of this, as I want to keep it for you to explore when you start playing the game yourself. But this is chapter number 2, Darkness Awakens. So, of course, as the game progresses, the actual chapters are going to involve more complex scenarios and more interesting layouts with the tiles. Now, in the back half of the campaign booklet, there's a ton of story-based entries. Lots of things here to discover as you go through the campaign. You'll be told to go to specific entries, reading them, and of course, actioning anything that's happening within them or making choices along the way. Back inside the box, we have 2 punch boards to take an up-close look at, as well as environment tiles that make up the scenarios. Now inside the box, we have miniatures. Let's go ahead and take a look at each unique sculpt up close. That's going to do it for the miniatures. Now back inside the game box, more punch boards, and underneath this, there are more environment tiles for the scenarios. Let's go through all of those up close. That's going to do it for the punch boards and the environment tiles. I placed the environment tiles back inside the insert because I wanted to show you the insert. You can see in each of the standard size card slots, there are 4 of them. There's definitely room for sleeving going on, which is nice to see. Not so much maybe for the mini cards. They're pretty close to the top already. If you sleeve them, they're of course going to bulk up a bit, and I don't think there'll be enough room for that. But standard size cards, it looks like there is. And then here we have trays, which are going to be used most likely for the tokens and the punch boards. And then we have some coins right here. Underneath these, which we'll take an up-close look at in a second, there's some dice, some additional trays basically for storage in the top right, gems and other things you'll use to put some of the dials together. So let's go ahead and take an up-close look at these components in the bottom of the box. That's going to wrap up my game unboxing video for Skull Tales Full Sail 2nd Edition, landing on GameFound in the very near future. You can find a link to the campaign page in the pinned comment and video description for more information, but stay tuned to the channel as I dive into a game overview and gameplay video for you to help you make an informed decision on this one. If you're not part of our Discord, I definitely recommend you come hang out with us there as we're talking about crowdfunding games and retail release games at all times. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.